Now it's time to glue the rest of the flat braces to the soundboard. We're going to start with the sound hole reinforcement braces. The way the guitar is made, the strings contact at the nut at the end of the neck, and then they contact at the saddle on the bridge of the guitar, and the string tension tends to try to fold the guitar into itself. It tries to pull the bridge and the headstock into the sound hole. So the sound hole braces are designed to reinforce the area around the sound hole so that it helps to resist those forces that are trying to pull the guitar into itself. And this is the same procedure for everything else. I've got the X braces just sitting in there. They're not radiused or ready to glue yet, but everything needs to butt up good and flush against the X braces, against that upper face brace. And so I put those X braces in there so that I know my position is correct for each of these braces. Now you'll see me make a mistake. You see me buttering up those ends with glue? Well, the one end up against the face brace would be fine, but that other end butts up against the X brace. The X brace isn't glued down yet. It's not radiused yet. I shouldn't be trying to glue anything to that yet. I make a mistake with this one as well. Fortunately, the glue did not dry completely before I discovered my mistake, and I was able to correct it. But you see me, I'm going for some extra there so I can butter up those ends a little bit better. So, oh well. Mistakes will be made, particularly with something like this. Particularly being the first acoustic guitar I've ever built. Now, I've built a couple of tops and braced them. Well, rebuilt. I built one and rebuilt one. And so I've done the bracing before, but that was several years ago. You have to sort of do them steady to remember everything. And the big thing with these is trying to get the clamps, enough clamps on them in the proper places so that they will be properly glued down. You got to go through the sound hole, but you'll see I managed it. And you got to be gentle with it. Lock it down a little bit at a time. You don't want them to move. Never throw a piece of wood away. You'll always find a use for it. That's an offcut that I used. An offcut of the bridge brace, the bridge plate that I used to as a call on the bridge plate. I'm using it again as a call here. And now you see that piece that was glued to the X brace, but I got it under control. Now we're going to move on to gluing the finger braces. Now these braces are slightly different sizes, height wise, and I'll be trimming them down to match where I want them to be after they're glued on. Once I get all of these braces glued onto the instrument top, and I know that the glue's good and set, then I'll come back with a chisel and maybe a little hand plane and shape these braces while they're free of the X brace, and I can get to them well. And then we'll move on to gluing down the X braces and the tone bars, which have to be radiused. And this is the longer of the two finger braces on each side. And so I need more than one clamp to clamp this top one. And I realized that clamp was not deep enough. So I'll have to use one of my 6-inch clamps and come on in through the sound hole and clamp that down on this end. And then come to the other end with another clamp to clamp that down. And if you hear a whine in the audio, I am watching this video on playback on my laptop while I record the voiceover that you're hearing now. And my laptop fan kicks in after a while. I haven't figured out how to deal with that, eliminate that, whatnot, unless I just cut the sound Well, I can't even do that. I started to say if I cut the sound from the audio from the building part of the video, but it's whining while I'm recording the narration. So anyway, now we're going to roll around and do the other side. Second verse, same as the first. And once again, you notice I'm not using 5 miles of glue on any of these braces. And I'm still getting squeeze out. So as long as I'm getting good squeeze out, then I'm using the right amount of glue. If you ever wonder, did I put enough glue on that or did I put too little glue on that? If you put a piece of wood to another piece of wood and clamp it down and you don't get any squeeze out, then you more than likely did not use enough glue. And conversely, if you put glue down and clamp it down and it slides all over the place and you get like 500 pounds of squeeze out and it's running all over the place, you definitely use too much. The rule of thumb that I try to use is put glue over the entire surface of the joint that's to be glued, but I should still be able to faintly see wood grain through that layer of glue. If I don't, if it's completely yellow or white or whatever color your glue is, and you can't see through it, you more than likely have you more than likely have too much glue in your joint. Now that's general woodworking. It remains to be seen if I'm correct when it comes to building guitars, but the Compiano book says not to put a bunch of glue on the braces when you brace them down to the soundboard either. So I think that's a rule that crosses over to any kind of woodworking. You see that clamping caul spinning all over the place? You'll see me ditch that caul here later on. Didn't really need it. I'm going to shape those braces as long as I have a caul underneath to protect the face of the guitar. If I get a little bit of a mark on that brace, it'll disappear. And that's it for today. Next video I'll come back after these have dried. Take a chisel and shape these braces. Thank you for watching. Bless you, and I'll talk to you later.